Hi, this is another edition of Story Doll Show, starring myself, Story Doll. It is about, still a warm and humid evening. Right now, the current temperature in Winnipeg is 21 degrees with some thunderstorm with light rain showers, and the humidex is 29, with the winds out of the north-northwest at 20 gusting to 35 kilometers an hour. These conditions will persist through the evening and then clear out in the morning, and then there's going to be possibly another 30% chance of showers tomorrow night and the possibility of a thunderstorm again. And currently right now, Winnipeg is under a severe thunderstorm warning, which basically means severe thunderstorms can have that when conditions are favorable, and that they can produce really nasty severe thunderstorms. And what I mean by that is there's stuff like, severe thunderstorms can produce, large size hail that can damage vehicles and property, and it also can produce strong wind gusts that can, uproot trees and, and can cause a lot of damage. It can also bring big torrential rains, which can cause flash flooding in low-lying areas and that. So, and this is for you people that live here in Winnipeg and that. If you do have to go out tonight, take every precaution you can. If any severe weather should, arise, make sure you take cover immediately and that, or just stay indoors tonight. That's all I can say. What else? Let's just get right into my show. In sports related news, Week 5 of the CFL kicks off tomorrow with a doubleheader on Wednesday's Friday Night Football, with the Calgary Stampeders facing the Ottawa Redblacks, and then the Toronto Argonauts facing the BC Lions. And then Saturday, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers facing the Edmonton Eskimos. And then to cap off Week 5, the Saskatchewan Roughriders face the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and that's Week 5 in the CFL. What else? In regards to the Greek crisis, PMs have passed a crucial bailout reforms. The passage of measures means that negotiations on an 86 billion European bailout can begin. The reforms include changes to the Greek bank and an overhaul of the judiciary system. Thousands demonstrate outside of Parliament as the bill was debated. The protests briefly turned violent as petrol bombs were thrown at police. There are fears that of a rebellion by PMs in the Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras was easily able to muster the support required. In total, the measures received 230 votes in favor and 63 against the 5 against the measures. What else? Those who voted were 31 members of his own party, political party in Greece. It just goes to show you that this debt crisis in Greece is far from over yet. This bailout deal is not a done set deal yet. And what else? In some other political related, in some other politics, what else? NDP leader Thomas Mulcair still isn't ruling out forming a coalition with the Liberals following the fall's election, despite Justin Trudeau's continuing refusal. New Democrat MP Nathan Cullen kicked off a renewed debate over the value of a coalition when he said that while winning a majority in this year's fall federal election is still his party's goal, ultimately the number one priority is to topple the Tories. What else? Trudeau has previously rejected the idea of an NDP/Liberal coalition, although earlier this year he said he might be open to the possibility of Mulcair, where not at the party's helm. On, I guess you could say, today, Trudeau said the parties could only work together on legislative bills. There are a number of issues on the Liberal Party of Canada and the NDP disagree in quite a fundamental level. So, although of course we are open to working with all parties in the House to pass good legislation to ensure that Canadians' interests are served, there will be no formal coalition with the NDP, he said in Winnipeg. What else? The last time the idea of a coalition government was seriously floated was 7 years ago when the NDP, Liberals, and then Bloc I can't pronounce it correctly. Basically, the political party in Quebec. It just goes to show you that sometimes Canadian politics can be really, really strange at times. In all politics, it doesn't matter if it's here in Canada, the United States, or all over the world. It doesn't matter. Sometimes things can be weird at times. What else? On another political related, on another news related subject, what was his name? 2 Oklahoma teens are held in a fatal stabbing of 5 relatives. It's not really clear what the motive was. What else? All it is 2 teenage boys were taken into custody early today after running back in from the back door of a house in eastern Oklahoma, where 5 of their relatives were found stabbed to death, according to police. Sergeant Thomas Cooper of the Broke Arrow Police Department said officers had been summoned to the residence late Wednesday by an open 911 call, which had no one spoke after dialing the emergency line.
Afghanistan.
After tracking the call, the police unit sent to the home in a lefty bedroom community of Broke Arrow, southeast of Tulsa. The police said the teens aged 16 and 18 were seen running from the house and were tracked down to a small park behind the house about an hour later by the canine unit.
Most of them would
A
cheer us
13-year-old
on, but
girl
we'd end up villains anyway.
inside was taken
How
to
you
hospital in
figure?
critical
The media would
condition
make us
where
out to be
she
monsters
underwent
and find a couple of
surgery.
dozen
She
Americans
is
who agreed with
was
them and
later
blasted
listed as
24/7.
a serious condition.
Assholes, he said.
A
Somebody's gotta do
2-year-old
it.
was
I
who was
nodded and gave
unharmed
Johnny a nudge to pick it up a
was
bit.
placed in protective
About
custody.
2 hours later, I checked my GPS.
Like, it
We
just
were
goes
there.
to show you that, you
I
know,
reined Johnny to an
sometimes,
easy stop.
you know,
There was
like,
nothing to tie
what's
to
the
in
world,
this hellhole of a
come
place,
to
so I
these
looped the
days,
reins
you
around his
know?
fetlocks as a makeshift
It
hobble
really
that would
goes
allow
to
us
show
a
you.
quick getaway if needed.
Like, you know,
Ditto did likewise with his mount.
Oh,
His name
what
changed daily,
else?
but I think on this day the mare's
in
name
some
was
other
Wildfire.
news
Because that's
related
one more awesome
stuff
damn horse song,
out of my home
according to
country,
Ditto.
Germany.
We started our hike up the
A
remaining
lack of
distance,
women
a couple
in the
hundred yards
east,
to go.
more
It's
wealth
slow going
in
to
the
check every footstep
is
in advance to
lingering,
be sure you're not stepping on
and
anything
lingering
that can make a
bitterness
sound.
of a
But
report
after a half
published
hour,
on
we could see
Wednesday
the destination
exposed
through our
the stark
goggles.
differences
A black
that
hole
still
the size
exist
of the mountain.
between east and west
I switched my
Germany
view from infrared
25
to
years
thermal,
after
scanned the mountain face
reunification.
above the cave opening.
This October
Found what I was
3rd
looking for.
will mark a
100
quarter
feet
of
up,
a
a
century
smaller
since
hole,
Germany
leaking enough heat
reunified
to look
at
like
the
a
end of the
bonfire
Cold
through the
War
goggles.
after 40 years
Intel
of
looks
division.
good, I
The
whispered.
turning point
No time like right
referred
now, Ditto said.
into
Let's do this thing. We
re-
continued our quiet ascent, and in a few minutes we stood outside
the
the
turning
cave.
point
Me
referred
just on
to
the
in
left edge of the
German
6-foot
was
wide opening,
weird.
Ditto on the right. It
Was
was high enough for us to
supposed to
stand.
usher in
That
an
helped.
emerging culture
I used hand signals for us to move in, and we both took a
economy
step
and
before Ditto held up a
shared
fist. I froze. He
historical
pointed to an electronic device on his
Um,
chest, and we pulled back to our
the
positions
study
flanking the hole.
revealed that about half
The gadget was
the
the
German
latest and greatest
population say
BlackBerry.
there are still
It
differences
could send and
between
receive
East and
electronic
West.
mail anytime it had a signal.
1/3 of
Thanks to an adapter
Easterners
that
told
connected to our
researchers
cell
that
phones that translated
Westerners
pretty
are
much
ignorant,
anytime and anywhere we had to
while
look at the
their
sky.
Western counterparts
Ditto's had obviously vibrated.
those in
He
the East
detached it
as
and flipped up his
discount,
goggles. I could see his screen glowing a dim
counted
green
and
as he read the
demanding.
message.
The,
Then he was typing on it with his
unification
thumbs.
of the German
As soon
state
as he
25
stopped,
years
mine
ago was
vibrated. Its tickle buzz
broadly
across my Kevlar vest. I
speaking
raised
a
my
success
headset and
story.
read the message.
But years
Shit.
of separation
Airstrike in 7 minutes.
unprideful of the years
Damn.
after the
I stowed the
reunification
BlackBerry, dropped my goggles,
left
and raised
behind
5
burn
fingers
marks
to Ditto.
of this
We set
report
5-minute
states.
timers on our watches, and on
So,
my signal,
like, it
simultaneously
still goes to
started
show
the
you
countdown.
that, you know,
No time left for the kind of
despite
stealth I
there
preferred.
being,
I signaled one more time, and we moved inside the cave as quietly as we
despite
could while still making haste.
Germany being,
We worked our way through a few small
despite
chambers
the,
that twisted and turned,
this,
and then we could see light ahead in a larger space.
Germany
At
being
the edge of the opening to that space, we dropped to our
unified, there's
bellies,
still
flipped
differences
up our
between
NV
East
gear,
and West
made a quick scan.
in my
9
home country,
assholes
Germany.
inside.
Me, I
The
was
most
born
important one, sitting in
in
front of a
Lar,
laptop with a cable snaking up the roof of the cavern and disappearing into a vertical shaft, was on the leftmost wall.
on
The cavern was lit by a
October
couple propane
October
lanterns on
16th,
stands.
1990.
I counted down 3 fingers to
at-
Ditto, and it was on.
And
The left
my
side was
hometown
mine.
of Lar,
Our suppressed M4s made quick work of most of them while we had the element of surprise.
Google,
No idiotic
Maps,
movie
it's about-
spraying
it's
on
about
full
45
auto,
minutes
just quick and
from
efficient double taps to the head.
Lar to
7 of
the
them could
French
now have
border.
much more
And
intimate
basically, the River
conversations
Rhine,
with
I guess you
Allah.
could say, it acts
2
as a
remain.
natural
My guy
border
with the laptop,
between
I
Germany
did
and
not want to
France.
kill him yet. And 1 guy on the
So,
right
yeah.
behind a large wooden shipping
Oh,
crate.
what else?
We stood and entered. I was focused on computer
Other
guy,
than that,
but my peripheral vision picked up things going very wrong on the right. Standing from behind the crate and screaming like an animal,
Winnipeg
Ditto's guy
was
opened up with an
issued a heat advisory
AK-47.
because of the
My partner wasn't
temperatures
fast
going
enough.
into the 30s,
Ditto's
and then
head
with
burst
the
open in a
Demodex,
sickening spray
going
of
into the
gore.
high 40s. It's
Son
not
of a
good
bitch.
for, you know, people's
I pivoted
health
right
and
and returned the
for
favor
people
to the
that
jihadi.
exercise outside,
There was
you
no
know,
need to
older
check on
people, you
Ditto.
know, whatnot.
When I turned back to computer guy, he was
What
coming out of a
else?
state of shock, his hands over the keyboard.
Well, this has
I
been
popped a
another
223
edition
round
of
into
this
each shoulder, and he was no longer concerned with typing.
Signing off.
While he wailed, I
for
checked
you
my
young
watch.
people, stay in school,
The
stay out of
firefight had
trouble,
felt like
you'll
a
be
half
fine.
hour, but my
And
countdown was just moving through
Wiedersehen,
3 minutes,
peace,
18 seconds.
and bye-bye.
I was at the computer in 3 quick steps. I grabbed the guy by his nasty beard and yanked him away from the computer. I took his place on the rock he'd been using as an office chair.